Hey guys, this is Tigress coming back to you with coming back to you with episode 13 of Minecraft New Adventures. Now, to be quite honest with you, I completely forgot what we did in episode 12. And I'm looking at my house being I clearly didn't do nothing building wise. That's kind of embarrassing. Like, at some point I do need to put lights in here, but I have a few torches, but I don't want to use torches. Personally, they make the house look a tiny bit ugly. I don't know how that slipped past me. Seriously, how? So today, guys, we honestly, at this point, I have no idea. I'm just going to try and finish off the house a bit more, or more importantly, add the additional layer for the roof. Now, part of me does kind of want to get essentially rid of those windows and make it into a balcony facing forward, but the other part of me wants to do it at the back and have, say, an open pool area. Why don't you say? And have, say, an open pool area, because I reckon I could and still make it look nice. Now, if you didn't see the last episode, what you'll realise is that I encaged the berries because I believe I think it was villagers or something, was getting trapped on them. Now, while they're not the best food source, they are currently one of my only renewable food sources. Which means the days of going, well, whoops, I might need to die are over? Hopefully. So, yeah, guys. Although, on other news, I did mention last episode that I don't know exactly where an end portal is, so I don't know. I went, on a copy of the world, using cheats. Using spectator mode, I went 10,000 blocks that way, 10,000 blocks that way, 10,000 blocks that way, 10,000 blocks that way. What I will do is off stream when we get past day 100. It'll probably be one of the next streams after that. I probably will spend just a tiny bit of time essentially going there. But the plan for when we do get past day 100, which is only 40 days away, I have no idea what I'm going to do for day 100, is essentially go to a case of where what I'll simply just go is, guys, that's currently the day, and then, I think it's in video. No, it's game, then go that. Although something I do want to do is, because if anyone has been watching my content since I started doing Quest back in, I think it was back in 2016. I know for a fact it was, because if you didn't catch the last episode, stuff is now starting to come back to me. I was like, guys, next year will be the 10-year anniversary, and to me it kind of feels weird. It's yay, 10 years, but then also, do I really want to celebrate doing 10 years of YouTube, considering I technically haven't? So, but yeah, so I probably will do something, but it probably won't be something. It'll probably be a case of something a bit bigger than normal, but it probably won't be something over stupidly oh my god sort of thing at first, like, whoa, but not, oh my god. Oh, I now remember. And I said the days were dying to get my hunger back for over. I was kidding. Now I remember. Basically, guys, I added a couple mods. Well, I say mods, add-ons. Can't remember why. I can technically get rid of them at any point. I probably won't get rid of them because I basically added the same mod, which is the quarry mod, which is why there's literally I know for a fact I'm pretty sure I did make it like a safe way down. Yeah. Don't ask me why I did like all of this, but it is technically safe to get down. They're technically possible. Safe, not. I didn't go through every possible area where you could mine stuff, but I went through a good few of them. Did I not make it possible? But yeah, guys, it went all the way down to here in the end. I can't remember exactly what we got, how much materials I got from this, but it was technically not possible to get back up, and I didn't want to go all the way back up. Not in there. Ah, yeah, I got some diamonds. In that case, I'm pretty sure I did get a decent... Not in there. Bit of... Ah, yeah, I did. I'm wandering around being like... Why the hell do I... Like, I wasn't even questioning why I wasn't wearing any armor. But yeah, guys, so we're probably are going to just try and like, make a bit more like progress to the house. But I'm also kind of want to essentially turn this into like a basement sort of thing. Now, I've got a really cool kind of way that I do want to do a basement. I just currently don't have access to the method that I want to use, and I can't believe I've just been talking for a day. Not like technically not a full day, but like you get the point. But to be fair, guys, I've always kind of just said that these are more talk sessions. And by talk sessions, I literally just mean a case of not much, generally not much gets done. So if you see, it's not a great view all the way down, and kind of not the best. If you see this goes a decent way down. Now, I can't remember exactly what one did that, but there are like 4, I believe. And the quarries aren't stupidly expensive to make. Hold on. Passenger car, tank car, steam locomotive. diesel electronic, gas turbine, handcar, dual locomotive, and subway locomotive. I might actually... Is that just a blast furnace? No, so that's a dispenser, so I need a bow, which I do technically have, and can also just make redstone and then cobblestone. Now time for me to remember actually how to make a bow. And it would help if I had some sticks. Basically, guys, what you'll notice is I basically almost never go and just individually do it. I always just use the clay soft click it, the thing will be done. Oh no, it's a furnace, never mind. Glass. Two minecarts and some glass. It's just a case of keeping them all together. Now, is this a valuable use of my resources? No, 100% not. Am I still gonna do it? Yeah, because I want to essentially mess with them while I can. Decoupler for a train. I'm presuming there must be track. Is it a case of it goes on what I think it does? I can't even remember what they're called. Rails. I'm an idiot. Like I say, bit of a waste of materials, but I also need somewhat of a flattish area. Okay, so yeah, so you do need track. kind of a waste considering I'm pretty sure. But it kind of does look cool. Now, did I just waste a good bit of iron? Yes, 100%. Guys, I can't properly mess with both. We have both from Quarry and Train mods because I don't have the resources to. But what I am going to quickly do... See, part of me wants to essentially just let one of those giant like netherite quarries when I can get to the... See, getting netherite to a pickaxe isn't going to be the first thing I think of is make a giant home with one. But I do have diamonds, and am I going to quickly waste a diamond pickaxe? Yes. Guys, it's me. We all know I was going to waste them at some point. I don't know why it's not showing up with me being able to make them. Now, I promise you this is probably like the last time I'm gonna make them for a good while, at least until I get a good few stacks of diamonds. But I just want to see how essentially how big the diamond holes are. You know, I'd be happy with the size of that for, say, a basement. Plus, guys, they do a tiny, nice little bit of mining. But yeah, I'd kind of be happy with the size of one of them for, like, a basement. So, I potentially might. But guys, I can tell you now, it's 100% not going to be the most, like, progressive-based episode. But for the next 3 days, I basically am just going to be harvesting a bunch of stuff and, you know, making the second. Because I want to make essentially, say, an attic roof. Not an attic roof. An attic. I want to make one for a couple reasons, and for the main reason, it's quite simple. I want essentially an attic where I can essentially, it won't be my room, it more likely won't be an enchantment room, but like say like a spare room or something. And for the areas around the side, one of them is going to essentially be like a nice little doghouse. Probably this side, because it's where they've been living for the most. But yeah, guys, I don't like. I'm starting to question why, but same part of me is like, do I need to? No, no, I really don't. But yeah, we're gonna basically just cut down some more bamboo to make a second roof, not a second roof, to make an attic. Although for once, I'm not regretting making the bamboo, like, cause like these look so nice. Like this like it looks like essentially an old like sort of style, like I want to say sort of Japanese like style, like sort of like flooring. It does look really nice. Also, guys, I'm not trying to essentially not be productive, but at the same point, was like new adventures got to the point of where like quests kind of earlier than normal, but not completely. But basically, that was by accident. Basically, with quests, like a lot of time, it was just a case of a nice, easy series. Sort of a nice, easy thing to record. It won't be too strenuous and all that lot. I'm intrigued to know what I did with my bones. I don't think I used. Did I use them all? But yeah, basically, Quest became to the point where it's like a nice, simple series. It's not hard to record. It was very easy. For me, at least, it was a lot. Like I know most people, and it was just essentially the way I was doing Quest. I wasn't putting as much effort into make it succeed, which will all change. And so it was just the. It was essentially just like it was just essentially a comfort series for me to like film. So, and then like, things like COD were essentially the non so simple ones. But like New Adventures, like because like if anyone saw the Spider-Man stream yesterday, you'll know there's like points where I was like, this is seriously getting annoying. And it wasn't because of Spider-Man, although Spider-Man has caused a couple of problems. It's a series that I don't regret doing, but there's definitely a couple points where see if in the future you don't see certain parts of Spider-Man, it'll literally just be because of the fact of a couple of them have been essentially not copy striped, but essentially there's like you don't own this content. It's not going to affect the channel and all that lot, but we're just letting you know. The first one I got, which was in like episode 4 of the main game, when there was I don't know what the band was playing during the scene where you're essentially trying to find that scientist. So I got it then, but then episode 8, I don't know why. And hopefully so far, none. I'm saying that as because I've not double checked since. Like, I didn't know episode 8 had until I double checked a couple days ago. Because they don't, like, with copyright strikes, they do, like, get in contact with you directly, and there's a potential chance that there is a couple, like, emails, because the email with the White Tiger channel isn't my primary email, like, email I use. I have one that I use more on, like, more as, like, I have more of a personal one that I use. Plus, when I'm just, like, typically ordering something off Amazon, I'd rather the person not go. I'd rather not, if I need to get in contact with the customer services, or, like, need to put down an email address for something, it being, like, so White Tiger Quest? Or, it's not even a White Tiger Quest, the email's not. But it's essentially an old email address back from when I was younger. But basically, guys, back like years ago, the White Tiger channel wasn't called White Tiger. It was literally just my name, but I did change it because back then, like I didn't I lost the email address. I didn't know what the password and that lot was. Now these days, I think I'd also lost the email. These days, if I just lost the password, I would just click forget password and like make a new one. Like the amount of times I had to do it with the PlayStation now. Because every so often, if you haven't like used it, I don't know if it's the fact you haven't used it recently or whether it's a case of I have a strenuous bad luck, it'll log me out, and then I'm sitting there going, "Hold on, what the hell was my password?" And I'm thankful that I'm now getting a good supply of bamboo. But yeah, I'll sit there going, "What the hell was my password?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, it was 12345." Not actually my password, but like an example. And it's not that my passwords are not that simple, but it was just a case of something that, like, to me is essentially simple, but to most people it's not. And even then, I should not be saying this information out on our stream. But yeah, like, I forgot the email password and all that lot, so I basically then, I can't remember what phone I got, like, a time or whether it was a tablet, but because, guys, I've never used iPhones or never had an iPad or used iPhones. Like, I would get an iPhone, but it wouldn't be a case of as a personal phone. It'd be the case of I'm in the lucky position to be able to have two phones. I'm gonna get, say, an old, like, say, an iPhone 12 or an iPhone 13 as, like, say, a backup, or, you know, say, as a work phone. The only use for it is for, say, work purposes. So yeah, so back then I ended up remembering it. I say a few years ago. I ended up remembering it more than a few years ago. But like when I looked at the channel, I think I remembered it for a good while at that point. So it's almost 10 years ago that I've remembered it, and so it's just like, yeah. But by that point, I'd got comfortable essentially using. Oh, that's where all my bones went. I was an idiot. I do need to get more bones now. That should be enough. Now, more important question. How do I want to be able to gain access to my attic? Part of me is tempted just to essentially put like staircase here, but then part of me is also tempted. I can just chuck like a cheeky little ladder here, but no, I probably will do a staircase. Dark oak. I'm gonna see if I have any more dark oak, because what might happen is I might end up just using dark oak for the roof if I can find any dark oak. Ah, I already had a bunch of. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry, like, episode 13 of Adventures hasn't been the most productive, but it's been more of a talking session. But, like, I kind of just essentially needed something that was a bit more, I don't want to say completely simpler, but just something that's not so stressful, because, as I've mentioned, like, went to go into detail, but then I got completely distracted. But, playing through Spider-Man yesterday, I was like, it's not good. No, I'm going to want to go one forward. I was thinking this isn't going to be too bad. And then I remembered, oh wait, Hammerhead's in it. It's not even a case of I remembered, then I remembered that Hammerhead was Ada. It was more of a case of, then going back through and it's like, oh yeah, Hammerhead hates me. And I guess, I know for a fact an AI doesn't hate me, but it's how it feels half the time. You know when, like, the fact that you're trying to get past something and, like, you're not completely, you know for a fact you're not ill, but your body is definitely telling you to, take it easy. Wait, did I say one forward? Because that only takes me up to there, which would then mean... Now hang on, no, I did go one forward, didn't I? Because... Okay, these stairs are starting to be confusing. I never thought that they would stairs would be annoying. But yeah, guys, like I was saying, like, when you know for a fact that you're not ill, but your body's still kind of telling you, you probably might want to take it. Like, I know for a fact that I'm not ill, but, like, I also do know it's hotter outside, so I really shouldn't be trying to still go full steam ahead. Annoyingly, if I wasn't still trying to make, like, this really, like, nice little stair pattern, I wouldn't have this problem, but at the same point, that just looks a lot nicer and looks more like somewhere where I can go and chuck a few storage boxes. And I might. I'm not completely glued to the case of, underground stairs. Or an underground basement. But yeah, like playing through Spider-Man Turf Wars yesterday, like the final, not even the case of the final part. No, see, part of me's like, yeah, I only need like one space. That was completely. I'm surprised. surprised my guessing wasn't completely wrong. I probably will do something like a dark oak roof, which will mean planting some more dark oak trees. But yeah, guys, when like not even a case of when like your body needs like essentially some time, but when you any gamers will eventually get to a point. I think anyway. At least I've experienced it a couple times where you'll get to a point, and no matter what game you're playing, you'll just need to take a break from it. You'll just need to put down the controller, put down the mouse and keyboard. Because something so simple will be stopping you from doing something, and it'll be like, how? You're the most simple thing in the world. That wasn't the case. Hammerhead on a normal day is a bit of a pain in the ass. Yeah, I can't say for sure in Spider-Man that he wouldn't be like an easy fight without disabled equipment, and without essentially turning it from a 1v1 to my army get him because for some reason he didn't send. Seriously, I question the logic of here. It's like, I'm going to not send out every single one of my men to deal with Spider-Man, who I know is a threat, and I'm going to keep a few up here just in case he gets up here. Surely the smart thing is to make sure he doesn't get up there. And make sure he doesn't stop the stuff. But yeah, I hate dealing with Hammerhead with Sable equipment because it takes the fight from essentially what would be equivalent of, I'd say the most simplest thing to compare it to would be the Tombstone fight. That's an optional fight in the base game. That is a case of you can win it and it's not going to be too bad, but Tombstone does have strength. Same with Rhino. They both got strength, they can both outpower you. But at the same point, your Spider-Man is smarter than both, smarter than Rhino at least. Tombstone is a debatable one, and I want to say smarter than Hammerhead, but I'm not 100% sure. I think it does depend on the version of Hammerhead. But anyway, it takes the fight from being a dodge this, dodge that, lucky punch here, lucky punch there, to what bullshit can I pull out? What equipment do I have that can slow everything down? Because in that one fight, the last fight of Turf Wars, not only are you dealing with Hammerhead with lasers, yes, lasers, which are annoying on the most days, you're also dealing with armed gunmen. And before that, you're then dealing with people with miniguns. Yes, because Hammerhead doesn't like to win fair. Which, granted, he's a villain, so it's fair enough. But same point, why the hell did you not just chuck every last one of your dudes at Spider-Man on the ground level? That fight should have just been a case of him versus you, and he should have been like, fuck, I'm out of men. No, he has a good couple waves come at you. Now, the argument could be made, Tigers just get better at games. I wouldn't need... granted, this is on spectacular difficulty. Not the hardest, but not the easiest. Now, I think I've more than once said... I'm saying I've said it more than once. I might be wrong by saying that. But I've said a few times at least. I was ranking, what parts of my favourite are there. The Heist is one of my favourites. I enjoy the Black Cat DLC because it is fun, intriguing, and it gives you stuff to do with a character that literally toys with you throughout the main game. Black Cat needs random map for you to find, just so she can steal back her equipment. She willingly lets you get hold of $50 million worth of art just to steal back her suit and gear. She toys with you, and then in the DLC, she doesn't directly tell you that the father, but she leads you to believe that she has got a son and that you are the father. She plays mind games with you, and it is intriguing and a cool storyline. Hammerhead, on the other hand, and I'm 100%. See, part of me wants to do a flat roof just so I can come up to the roof and go cannibal. But part of me's kind of do I really? But I'm definitely doing something with the roof. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, Hammerhead on the other hand is just boys, get him. And through like, it's not even a case where like I don't like Turf War or I can't comment on Silver Lining because I've not replayed for that yet, and which will be happening tomorrow. Might as well cut more down. But so far, the highest part of the DLC has been my favourite. Because it's a case of Black Cat is playing mind games with you just so she can piss off Hammerhead. Plus the mob, plus a few other dangerous people. And who is left cleaning up that mess? Spider-Man. I enjoy it so much because it's a case of Peter Parker can't help but feel bad for Felicia. He can't help but want to help her, even though after everything that she does against him. She locks him in one of Hammerhead's vaults after nicking something from Hammerhead. Bear in mind, Pete's helping her during all this, and it's not just Pete who's getting mind games chucked at them too. MJ also is, because Pete tells MJ that she's only working with, like, Felicia's only working with Hammerhead because of the fact that he's got a kid. And he's like, yeah, we might have, and she's like, oh, wait, what? So because of all of that, MJ isn't also another person that Felicia essentially plays mind games with. Which is why I find it so interesting, because it's no longer a case of, like, like Pete wants to feel bad for her, but like the game makes you want to start to feel bad for her. But at the same point, she's playing manipulation games with you. It is cool, fun, interesting. Then we go straight to a case of Hammerhead wants to rule. Hammerhead wants to restart the mob. Okay, why? Why does Hammerhead want to restart the mob and not want to restart something or start something that was better? The mob got took down for a reason. But it's just a case of Hammerhead wants the power that the mob used to have. He wants the full control. He wants the city to be feared again. Not gonna happen. Do you want to know why it's not gonna happen? It's called a web slinger. Like, people in like where Spider-Man typically work, like web slings around, don't necessarily fear because they know Spider-Man's going to be near. They know Spider-Man's going to save them at the end of the day. It's the same in things like Metropolis. No one feels their lives because they know Superman will save them. Compared to things like Gotham, villains are terrified to do anything because they hope at worst they get a few broken bones and get sent to the ER. It's why a lot of criminals in Gotham, when they see like Nightwing's logo show up instead, if they see Nightwing's, Batgirl's, or like Red Robin's logo, so Tim, Barbara Gordon, Tim, Barbara Dick, they start to feel a bit of relief because they know the worst they're going to get is a trip to the ER. But if Batman, Bruce shows up, Jason shows up, especially if Jason shows up as Red Hood, who they know they're taking a different trip. Like if Batman shows up, they know it's not going to be. They know they better just start talking and hope he's in a good mood. Hope he's just had a nice good drink with Clark or something. But like, know what I'm trying to say? I'm mixing up my words. So yeah, guys. So the game basically just goes and goes. Like, Hammerhead's just trying to restart the mob. Okay, why though? Why would Hammerhead want that much attention on himself? Like, I get why, but the power and all that lot. But there are other ways to get power, and more importantly, there are other ways to essentially stay off Spider-Man's radar. If I was Hammerhead in that case, I wouldn't be trying to restart the mob. I'd be retrying to get the power that essentially the mob had, but also be trying to stay under Spider-Man's radar. Do you want to know why someone like Silver Sable herself is a bit of a threat to Spider-Man? And why when you first meet her, she pulls 2 pistols to his head and threatens to shoot? She's very much unpredictable. She doesn't, like, from what we see in the games, she doesn't have a good side or a bad side. She then does start to question her motives and why she's doing it, but her men don't. Which is why I'm intrigued to play the Silver Lining DLC, because in all honesty, like, I can tell you the story for... I'm not going to include Silver Lining because I've not replayed through it yet. Because that stream, part 1 of that stream will be happening tomorrow. But do you want to know how I can tell you, even though I, like, Silver Lining, like, DLCs are just a case of, like, I've not played them as often. But do you want to know how? By literally only replaying through the DLCs at the point, how I can tell you exactly what the story point was. Main game. Mr. Negative wanted to, for the most part, wanted to get rid of not Doc Ock, Norman. He wanted to show Norman fear and get payback for what he did. Dr. Octavius then wanted to do the exact same thing. Rhino, Electro, Scorpion, and Vulture were all locked up in prison because of Spider-Man. The DLC, the heist part. That Cat wanted to get those hard drives, and also wanted to kind of fuck with, Hammerhead. But for the 204, Hammerhead wants to gain power, wants Silver Sable's equipment to do it. Now, I can tell you exactly the story points for at least Spider-Man 2. Miles Morales is kind of a bit more of a case of... I can't remember it because out of all, like, Spider-Man 2 is still somewhat recent because I replayed through it on New Game Plus last year. I waited for it to come out before replaying through the game again because, to me, I was in the mood for a good while. Oops. But to me, I didn't see no point in essentially replaying through it, say, a month or 2 beforehand, when New Game Plus could essentially just be right around the corner. And I could have done so much more progress on this house. But what I will do is try and find, say, some mark of trees. Yeah, this is one. I don't know why I instantly went to the one that didn't have 4. But yeah, like, guys, I can tell you that essentially the point of Spider-Man 2, the whole plot of it. Kraven the Hunter comes into New York wanting to find Spider-Man. He heard so much about him, and he wanted a good hunt, because he was dying, and he didn't, I think it might have been a cancer. I'm not 100% sure, because I can't remember. But he wanted a good hunt, and kind of good that I can't remember, because, like, that's going to get played through in the next couple, like, I want to say by the end of the month. But yeah, Kraven the Hunter wanted a good hunt. He wanted someone good to take him out. And he wanted that person to be Spider-Man because some of Spider-Man's other rogue galleries proved that they couldn't. Again, not going to go into details because it's a bit of a spoiler. And during all of this, you have Cletus Cassidy, otherwise known as Carnage, to do with the flame stuff, essentially coming back up in ranks. You know, making new waves. And all that lot. And I think the whole point was for him to become Carnage. I think that was essentially a DLC. I think, if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure he does get symbiote during the end of his stuff, which I will be playing through. Even though I think it might just be side missions. I'm not 100% sure if it is part of the main game or not. If it's not, I will be. If it is part of the main game, then obviously it's part of the main game and I physically have to. But yeah, like, you know, Cletus Cassidy, who essentially trying to cause a bunch of carnage. And then you have Norman Osborn, who is trying to save Harry. Because Harry is dying in the base game. Like we find out in Spider-Man PS4, Harry is sick and potentially dying. And before all the mobs start coming out, and so I can actually just continue talking. Well, honestly, I'm kind of tempted to go for Cherry. But the thing is, I don't have no cherry wood. Oh, yes I do, never mind. At least for now. They might get changed. I kind of like it, kind of don't. Kind of doesn't really match. It's just more so I can carry on talking through the night. But yeah, like, Cletus Cassidy is trying to cause as much carnage as he wants. And this mysterious vigilante is essentially being a vigilante. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that. You'll find out when I play through Spider-Man 2. But yeah, Harry Osborn is ill, Norman is trying to save him, and as you see, the symbiote, or Venom, does. And Harry, like, Pete ends up getting it during the story. He ends up finding out that it's turning him really aggressive. So he ends up taking the suit off. And Dr. Connors essentially tells Harry, after telling Pete, like, you really shouldn't, like, it's dangerous and all that lot. And then becomes Venom. But yeah, like, I know the story from, like, Spider-Man PS4 and Spider-Man 2. Mars is just a bit more because I've not played through it as... I don't want to say not played through it as much, and I don't want to say it's not memorable. Because I'm pretty sure I played through Miles more than I have through Spider-Man. Like, there's once on the PS4, there's once on the PS5, and then there's New Game Plus on the PS5. I believe it's PS5 version. There might also be New Game Plus on the PS4 version too. Compared to Spider-Man 2, I've only played through it twice. about to say, what the hell did a creeper do? And it's like, nope, we're fine. But like Turf War is just a case of, what the hell happened? I've literally played through it the last 2 days, and quite frankly, I don't know the story point. Like Hammerhead's trying to get hold of Silver Sable and take care of a group of people so he can, you know, keep his power. Okay, fair enough. And then Silver Lining, it's been a while. But we will be playing through Silver Lining tomorrow, so that's no problem. I'm kind of sorry for the run, guys, but Hammerhead, to me, I see Hammerhead and I was like, nope, nope. I'd rather fight the full Sinister Six than deal with Hammerhead again. Scratch that. I'd rather fight the full Sinister Six than deal with Hammerhead, powered up with Sable equipment. With the what, he still had what, 14 unbroken bones after getting his ass kicked? Yeah, I'd rather be in that position. Because I was essentially in that position. Because after Pete gets his ass kicked by the Sinister Six, he then goes after each of them, deals with Ultra and Electro, deals with Rhino and Scorpion, deals with Mr. Negative, and then deals with Dr. Octopus. Literally, part 6, 7, 8 is literally those fights. Because, like, literally, my original plan was, I want to try Space Map, but I don't think I'm going to be able to, considering they happen back to back. No, turns out the fact of I was able to. Not by much. But like, I was able to. My poor dog. But yeah. So, see, I don't know if I should be annoyed the fact that Hammerhead's more of a challenge, or whether I should just be... Okay, so, okay, Hammerhead's more of a challenge. But, like, I know, like, I don't, like... I'd say the worst, like, it's just for the fact of, like, Turf War has always been more of a annoyance for me, because I've never hated it, but I was like, there's not much in there that I, like, really intrigued about, like... For Silver Lining, Silver Sable returns. Will she work with Spider-Man? What happens? Black Cat returns. What goes on there? Hammerhead's back with Sable equipment? I should really try and sleep so I can end stream. But yeah, I can't wait to actually have the bed in the house. You know, guys, actually, no, I'm gonna do it from here. But yeah, guys, that's been episode 13. I'm sorry it's been a bit more of a simple one. But yeah, I am literally sorry it's been a bit more simple one. I'm being a bit more of a rant. As soon as we do get essentially past 100 days, a lot of the simpler stuff of a case of, I need so much wood or so much bamboo to build stuff, other than me doing that off stream, like, there will be a difference. It'll be a case of, guys, in today's episode, we are building a full-on length doghouse, and you don't have to worry because we've got the materials to do it. It'll be stuff like that. And some stuff from proper planned out compared to a case of, because when I can essentially when I'm not streaming like full 100 days, and just so the day count doesn't go up anymore. When I can, it'll just be a case of things will be properly planned and all that lot. And proper, like, because then I'm going to get stuff and it'll just be properly planned and that'll be slightly better then. But anyway, guys, this is Tiger signing off. Hope you enjoyed. Episode 14 should be better. We more likely will just be finishing off the house and hopefully finishing it. And then just be moving stuff in a lot. But anyway, this is Tiger signing off.